Mother Russia! Hail Mother
Oh, fuck. And we're done. We're taken down.
What up, hard yarners? We are here for episode number 298.
Ooh, 98.
So close.
There you go,
Damn it.
Severance. Yeah,
Two
very
off of
good.
Brian Lara.
Yep. Before we get into what we talked about, fucking good episode. We are brought to you by alltradescover.com.au. Old John Elliott. If you're watching at home, you can see behind our incredible guests there. alltradescover.com.au. Delby, what do they cover?
So many things.
Can you give me a specific?
No, not allowed to,
No.
legally. But if you have your own business, you can hit them up. Even if you want to support the pod, the more people that use alltradescover.com.au, the more money we can make, which means Branchy can feed his child.
And we're going to, do you know what we'll do? A little bit of Patreon. If you want to join Patreon, we're going to the Christmas party.
Yep.
Maybe we'll put a couple little videos of us playing
done.
the games and shit. Yeah, sick.
Easy.
Also, this episode is brought to you by Feed.
Speaking of feed your children,
Yeah.
feed them the nutrients.
Yeah, it's so
Densely
good.
packed from organic beef, liver, beef organs,
Yeah,
oyster, honey. Good shit, bro.
Collagen. It's all ethically farmed, all locally sourced.
That's right.
And it's animal proteins and animal, what have they got there? Beef liver extract complex. Oh, they've got a whole lot of stuff there that actually, the bioavailability of it, because it's already, it's animal protein.
Fighting back against conspiracy theories. Cow farts are not ruining the world.
Correct.
But cow beef is enriching it.
Mate, they're so good. But get involved. Use the code word HARDYARN for, I think, from memory, 10 or 15% off. This episode is also brought to you by Goat Tape. You like a bit of Goat Tape, actually, don't you?
Yeah, love the guys from Goat. Dan, Cam, wonderful dudes. Local
Us?
from Perth.
Dan and Cam. Yeah, that's us. Kerry. Yeah, they're fucking awesome, mate. I notice it when I'm sleeping. I feel better in the morning. Do you use it for like running or walking or anything like that?
I use it for not snoring.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. But again, code word, hard yarn, you'll get a percentage off and I think a kickback to us. And then finally, this episode's brought to you by Kahuna Golf. I'm wearing the hat right now. Look good, feel good, play good. Delby,
The guy with the hat.
we got hit up by a listener who has a membership at Lake Carrinup who wants us to go play with James.
Sick.
And
Keen
all
as.
four of us will go there, play there, show off some Kahuna Golf stuff. So I'll
Yeah.
let you know, James. But hard yarn 15 for all of your for a discount. No, hard yarn. Sorry,
Hard yarn,
15%
15%
off. They've got the floral tops. They've got the hats. They've got shorts.
Good material.
It's great.
If you're sweaty like myself.
Does it make you play good though, Delby?
Fucking oath, bro.
Fuck yeah.
I line that tee shit up. I'm like, fuck, I feel so good. And then I hit the ball and I reassess my life opportunities.
But thank you so much for your support for this year, guys.
Thank you, all of my sponsors.
Season 6.
All of our sponsors, sorry.
All of these sponsors have been very helpful. So support us by supporting them. Today we're joined by Seva Mozhaev. Mozhaev?
Yes.
Mozhaev.
I put the the je in measure.
Yes.
Mozhaev. Or
Mozhaev.
pleasure.
Yoksamash Mozhaev.
Yes, Russian plant. No, we've got. He's a bit of a TikTok famous influencer, but we dive into a lot more. Do you recall what we spoke about today, Sev, on a very brief summation?
Yeah, just like the banning of social media for the kids, education for the kids. What kids should do in high school to prevent them going full retard when they're adults.
And if you are adult and you want to pivot, some sort of, what's the word, like a plan and some tools to use.
Pretty motivating episode, actually. So, awesome episode. You're going to like this, listeners. And only one more episode left for the year.
That's right.
Well, me and Del, we're going to drink.
Yeah.
Before we go out. And we don't do that because we're all these episodes are like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning.
So we're going to be drinking it.
We're going to be drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning before we go. But fuck yeah, good episode.
Cheers, my G.
Cheers for coming.
Mozhaev, let's get hard, man.
Yeah, let's get hard.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host.
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Brand.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
What do you think of my my linking of the conspiracy between the computer chip and the drones at the exact same time?
Oh, yeah, I seen
The quantum computer chip.
I didn't quite get what you meant by it, though.
Well, that processing chip is doing the job of it can process something 10 quadrillion times faster.
Oh, yeah.
Like the same week that news is broke from Google is the same week we have these drones mysteriously appear. Maybe they've come to destroy the technology that's going to help us advance their technology
What the fuck is happening
in
actually with the
their
drones, man?
base in the middle of the ocean.
Mate, I have no idea what's happening with those drones. They're nuts.
Yeah.
That's actually, it's getting a bit more like I'm conspiratorially minded. And even I'm just like, this is getting a
It's
getting
just
a
weird
lot.
that they haven't said what it is. Anyway, we can Patreon. Well, we'll talk about that.
What do you reckon, Sev? From a Russian disinformation, whatever you want it to be called, agent.
Drones, they're fascinating things. Whether are they from somewhere or from outer space, or what's the go?
Well, the theory goes that they're from the ocean.
Yeah,
There's
well,
a
some of them.
manufacturing plant in the middle of the ocean that sends them out as they used to be manned drones from whatever's living down there.
But they all look
they're
different.
unmanned.
They all look different. Have you the scariest, easily the scariest theory? This is and probably the most realistic theory is that the reason the government is not telling you what it is and who's doing it is because it is them, and they're searching for that nuclear weapon,
Yeah,
that dirty bomb.
yeah.
That's pretty scary, man.
Or it's all a big ruse to fuck up Trump's presidency.
Oh, 100%.
Where they're sending it out saying there is a nuclear bomb in there and then making a shitstorm for him to walk into.
100%, because there's a couple of clauses for not transitioning power.
Really?
In certain things.
Like
So-
war or...
Have you heard about the
Wow.
have you heard about the underwater drones that have been commissioned or they've been researched, where they go underneath the Arctic Circle,
Yeah.
and then they start to propel the salt up to the water because it freezes quicker, and then they're creating new ice blocks.
This
Really?
goes back to what we were talking about yesterday or the day before. Like, we're just too much intervention.
Yeah.
We're just going to create another problem that we have to solve.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Everyone just chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Stop trying to intervene.
Yeah.
$6 billion a year to create ice blocks in the Arctic to prevent global warming.
I've got a few
well,
mates in Rockingham that make $6 billion a year from ice, but that's...
that?
What are they adding to cows? Bovair or something?
that's the
Don't get me
that's
started on
fucked.
that.
Yeah. That's fucked. That creates
thanks.
infertility in men.
Like, what are they thinking?
Shouldn't fucking cow in the first
You're
place.
you're big on the carnivore or
Sev's big on everything.
yeah, it's quite big.
If I was proportionate, I'd be 8'2".
Yeah, you're a big proponent of carnivore, but animal based.
Yeah.
You really heavily pushed me into that, and eventually I succumbed, and I probably came to my senses as well. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Because you're big with that and getting good meat.
Yeah. So pasteurized, grass fed, the free range and the caged. Okay, so caged worse. Free range, there's like a blurred line there.
Yeah.
Because the definition is they can be caged for 80% of the time.
Right.
And
Yeah,
walk out
it's
for 20 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And also grass fed could be blurred lines too, because they could be in a cage but also grass fed. So you want pasteurized.
Yeah.
Which means they're in the pasture.
Yes.
I never knew what it meant until this very point.
Yeah.
I thought pasteurized meant they did a chemical process.
No, pasteurized is
pasteurize
good
it.
shit. So you get pasteurized eggs.
Pasteurized milk.
Yep. And because the chickens are out there getting worms, eating the worms, and it's like the most nutritious eggs there are. You get the organic pasteurized eggs. That's optimal. And you can see the different colors in the yolks. It's more, golden.
100%.
That's what you want.
When I
And-
used to get it from my brother-in-law, they just do the same thing. Vegetable scraps, feed the chickens, and it's an orange deep, and it's creamier, it's better.
Yeah. But then you go down the rabbit hole with the chickens. You're like, wow, how much better do these eggs taste? What else could taste better? And then, the hardest part about being, having cows is you have to kill them, right?
Yeah.
So, you find a decent butcher who isn't compromised by, all this other shit.
Yeah, you used to go to Bully a lot, local to me. Are
Bully,
they good?
Bully Butcher, 100% grass fed.
Yep.
And they actually put up a post last week about it.
No Bovair?
No Bovair.
Is it what? How do you pronounce it? Is it Bovair, or
I think it's
Bovera?
Bovair.
I'll do a bit of looking into that.
Boveaur, maybe?
Yeah.
Bovair.
But the minute they start saying we're going to add this to create less methane to stop,
Fuck, who gives a fuck, bro? Who gives a fuck about cows farting, cunt? Like, I reckon China's factories just a guess.
Yeah, just a guess.
The amount of pollution coming out of China's factories offsets every single cow on the planet.
Yeah, that's what Cam was talking about with the plastic bags.
Yeah.
We can do all we want with the plastic bags. We're still creating the same amount as we were before.
Yeah, but they're just making money from it.
Yeah, correct.
It's fucked.
Just do your research. Do your research in that. Like I'm against Coles and Woolies completely. You know, always go to the markets, local markets. Always understand where it's sourced from. Doing my research on the website, and also going out to the farms is helpful too. If you want to really take it seriously, you got to do that.
The hard part is the time, bro. That's where the
convenience.
Yeah, the big companies win because
Yeah.
5 minutes away, I go to Woolies and
Open
I've
till
got the
9.
whole world at my feet. Whereas if I want to go to a butcher or a market, not so much a butcher, but
and the cost
a
as well. I get
marketplace,
it.
Yeah.
I get it. But that's where the time and convenience will catch up to you eventually
And
when
cost you more.
when you're in the fucking GP going, why the fuck do I have colon cancer?
Yeah.
I think there's probably a niche in the market there for somebody to source all organic groceries for you.
There's already done. So there's a couple that my ads are getting pumped by this. So there's 2 different beef boxes that you can create. It's like a $200 box, $260 box, and you can choose 16 or however many items. You can just like pick
Is that
and
called
choose.
Butcher Box or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I saw that pop up.
And I'm just like, oh, look, 100% grass-fed, organic.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then they list all the different farmers that they source from, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
you know, and that's where I'm like, okay, that's convenient because when I get home at the end of the day, there's a box out front. Hopefully, no one's pinched it, and there's ice blocks and stuff to keep it cold, so the meat doesn't go off while you're still at work because they always fucking deliver it like an hour after you leave home, and you've got 2 weeks worth of food. And you didn't even have to leave the house.
Yeah, as long as the ice blocks aren't sourced from the Arctic. We're all good.
We've got hit up by a farmer like 2 days ago wanting to chat to us, potentially coming on. I don't know if he will be coming on, but he wanted to talk about glyphosate.
Yeah.
And the importance of glyphosate.
Oh, that's
and I was
interesting.
like, well, okay. Well,
we
we
need
talked
opposite.
about opposite. And he
Yeah.
said, well, look, I'm not saying it's healthy, but it's such a beneficial chemical that the farmers have to use.
Did you do a backlink and it's a farmer, but he's from
Yeah,
glyphosateinc.com?
imagine. Yeah, so he just said, like, as a local WA farmer, I just want to expel some of the myths.
Yeah,
And I was
nice.
like, that's cool.
That's what you need. You need someone that's in the trenches.
Mm.
Because even if they're not, they could be wrong, but they are living it.
Yeah, 100%.
Just like the same way, like if you're going to PT, you might be getting the wrong information from your PT.
Well,
but it's working for you.
All the lobbyists, I guess, they're all farmers themselves. They're not just a random Delby and living in a suburb. So they all have a good understanding of it, I guess, which is good. But like you do have to go out there and see it yourself.
But they're straight to consumer as well. You get rid of the middleman, which is the corporate fucking, your grocer, and you go straight from the farm, which is fresh, even more fresh. It hasn't been packaged. It doesn't have any preservatives in it. It's straight to the source, and it's cheaper for us direct, and because there's no middleman, right? And it's better straight for the farmer. Now, this is obviously like you go to a butcher and you're like, oh shit, the meat is more expensive.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
But it's better quality.
Yeah.
Like you can't put a price on quality if it's, healthier and there's no shit in it. This is one of my favorite memes at the moment with RFK.
Be seed oils.
Oh, yeah.
RFK. So there better not be seed oils in that. So not just the meat, but also just, I can't wait till McDonald's has the oil, the tallow.
Yeah.
Tallow.
Do you think they'll genuinely start cooking in beef tallow?
It depends on how fast the market moves.
Yeah.
I reckon we're very close to having someone come out with just like a chip shop that's just cooking out of tallow.
Yeah.
I'm going straight there day one.
Is
100%.
tallow just animal fat?
Yeah, animal fat.
Yeah.
And,
Instead of seed oils.
And it lasts for 5 years, so you can reuse it.
Yeah, ask any Italian. my dad's saucepan has got tallow from fucking when he got divorced.
Yeah.
So you just filter it through and then go again. And it tastes better too.
100%. Yeah.
It tastes so much better. I don't know what the fuck, because canola oil has no smell, right? And it's cheaper,
Yeah.
but colon cancer.
Yeah, 100%. Even having gone out to our mutual friend, their farm out in York, and got involved in the I can't remember what the process is called. I don't want to muck it up, and I don't want to make them sound like arseholes. But the cutting off the tails and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Docking? Oh, no, that's... but docking a tail is the same as not putting a penis in another penis. Isn't that what it's called, where you dock the tail?
No, it's... I can't remember what it's called. It's a process anyway.
Yeah,
and we did the whole process where you do all the vaccination, you do all the cutting off the tails, and you have to...
We call it foreplay in New Zealand.
Yeah, give them medication and pain relief and stuff. And like, it's quite confronting the first time you do it, but then he explained it as this is something you need to do because the pain that they'll experience by getting fly blown is far worse. And the love that he has for his animals and his sheep that he farms, because they are his product. He wants quality products. He tries to keep them as healthy as possible, as stress-free as possible, because if he ends up giving a poor quality product, he's not going to get the return business. So these local farmers are still doing the right things. And I'm interested because we've had Tash Peterson on before, obviously, and she's militant with her thoughts and very rigid.
So are her fans that subscribe.
But obviously we've had her on and know that like behind the militant side that you see from her, she's
normal.
a fucking normal person.
Yeah,
She's just got a passion for animal cruelty.
Yeah.
Whether or not we agree with her methods, that's up for debate. But
That's her religion.
But yeah, exactly.
We're going to respect her religion just as long as she doesn't come to my house naked with her fucking blood all over her.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, chill.
Yeah.
I spoke to her a couple of times on Instagram and I'm just like, well, fuck, you're just an activist that's going extreme because it's the only way you
gets
can
the attention.
get the word out,
Yeah.
Like, if I had all the fuck you money now, I would literally go to a greyhound race and just be an absolute pest and be banned from every single track as soon as possible.
Well, from what I hear, they're pretty close to shutting it down.
Well, New Zealand, they've just announced the ban.
Yeah, right.
But, like, in Australia, there's still, it's a phase out for the next 4 years, right? But I want to go there. Like, if I had the time, and again, like, I could pay the fines, I would just disrupt every race.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you did the doco on it, eh?
True.
Oh, it's called
Big
tail
Sav.
docking and mulesing.
Mulesing.
I'm using that. Yeah.
Mulesing. The mulesing process is, look, it's confronting if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Like Scotty's sitting there going, why are you cutting its tail after? Like, I wasn't doing the cutting. I left that to the pro. But yeah, like picking them up and chucking them in there.
What do they do with the leftover tail? Is there any sort of...
Probably scraps for
dog
dogs
food
or
or something?
yeah.
Or greyhound food?
Well, I can't remember what
Yeah.
they used it for.
Because it's weird that it's a natural occurring thing, right? But it causes them harm.
I wonder.
If it
like,
was in
how,
nature, would it have a...
How natural is sheep to Australia? I don't know. I have never checked into
Well,
that.
we're not. They're not. They've been bought here.
So there's fuck all
Once
fly.
a jolly jumbuck.
So fuck all flies here. Sorry, in England, probably where they're from or something like that. Not used to it. They come to Australia. They're out
fair
there.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with POMs in general.
Yeah.
Would that,
just English in general,
do you
yeah.
reckon if they'd have to do that over in the UK then?
Good. I don't know.
That's an
We'd
interesting
have to-
thing.
Yeah.
Because Australia's fuck with flies. Like even like we're used to it.
Yeah.
And even when that first few flies come in.
Yeah.
for the-
Well, that's like,
just
right.
fuck off.
That open mic comic, Seva Mozhaev, I think his name was. He said he did FIFO and he realized that's why it's FIFO because he's African with big nostrils. He goes, fly in, fly out.
That's not so bad. Who's that one?
Seva Mozhaev, I think his name was. He's
Okay.
not around anymore. He
Okay.
did it for like a year and a half or 2
Yeah.
years.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fly goes in, fly goes out.
Fly goes out. But what else has been going on? Because I've noticed you've taken a bit more of a turn. You've started to say things that you probably were cautious on saying, and I can see it slowly dipping the toe into some areas.
Yeah.
Are you getting rid of certain clients and stuff that hold you back, or what's that? Because I like what I'm starting to see.
Yeah, no clients have really held me back.
That's good.
Over the last kind of couple of years. Now I'm getting like random tech collaborations, and I'm just like, geez, this is a big brand. How's this much sound? They're like, yep. I'm like, fuck, I quoted too low.
Yeah.
But like with Idea Academy, it's literally what I've been looking for a long time. So the way that I want to go about it is to talk about my philosophy and what the school system should pivot to, which they won't for a long time. And when I talk about these things, people ask me, Sev, you should make a school. I'm like, I don't have time. But I can just manifest it, and whatever happens, and people can. I don't want to start a cult or anything like that, but Idea Academy approached me, and I was like, holy shit, this is the solution that everybody's asking for.
What do they do?
No, he's used the word cult and solution in one sentence.
Oh dear. So just break down what they do. Because have you spoken to someone like Augusto Zimmerman?
No,
who's started his own university over here, but maybe
I've heard of him. But with Idea Academy, they're located centrally, like off St George's Terrace, and it's in the hub of the city. But what they do is they've got two different programs. They've got the Academy, which is running from year 10 all the way through to year 12, so 3 years. And it's your alternative to, the senior high school, or, because TAFE isn't really made for kids. TAFE is made for older people who want to do something different. And also TAFE, this is something new. This is information that I've been given from within the system. They just push people through. They pass you. Sometimes
so does the schooling system.
Exactly. So, TAFE is $2,500-$3,000 a term or a semester or year. I forget which one. And a student's worth to a high school through the government funding about 12 to 15 grand a year. So that's what our taxes pay for. But at what cost? The curriculum, the education system has to be adhered to through guidelines, through the government. And, you got the education minister and all this stuff. And, the kids must learn this and this and this. And, no room for innovation because there's no time, because they need the stats from the rote learning to pass the test, to get the ATAR, to then move him into a bigger institution that costs more money, to give you debts, to give you a job that you realize you didn't want to fucking do.
Yeah.
Whereas Idea Academy helps nurture your curiosity, your interest to go, oh, shit, yeah, I do want to do this. How do I get to do it? All right, instead of biology, which you'd be in right now in year 10, dissecting frogs, you're interested in aviation, or you want to start a business in, creating a clothing brand.
Oh, I love that.
Here are the specific subjects or specific topics that you're looking to pursue.
Yeah.
And it's tailored to them.
That's awesome.
Well, does it count as a
diploma?
ATAR?
No,
because that's where it gets murky. If you wanted, essentially, it doesn't mean fuck all.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't count towards ATAR. But
so if you were to leave in year 10, you would just get your waste certificate, and then
you wouldn't get a waste certificate in year 10.
To finish waste
in year 12.
What's the one in year 10 that you get where you're competent up to year 10, and then you move?
Do you think anyone actually looks at those though? Yeah.
No, there's a general competence test. I can't remember because it was 3 or 4 years ago now.
Because are resumes a thing, really? Do you think people genuinely
less
look
and
at
less?
them?
No.
Yeah. People are looking for your vibe, your the way that you fit in, and if you're teachable.
Yeah, if
right?
your I guess your intention to learn. And
if you have critical thinking, if you have accountability, you have all the soft skills that you don't really have time to learn in school, because they're saying to you, wear the right color shoes at school because you're here to, learn algebra. Who fucking cares?
So it's a bit like a Montessori style school for late teens.
I don't want to say yes because I'm not speaking on behalf of them.
Yeah.
But you go in there and they have a network of the right people who have done or are doing the thing that you're interested in. That's huge value. Kids don't have the courage, or, they're behind an iPad all day. They put down the iPad and they see the person in front of them with the right answers to everything they want. They go, fuck, back to the iPad. Fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? They have anxiety. Whereas this school or this academy is, that segue or that bridge to be able to open that conversation. Speak in front of them where they don't have to say anything, but then open the floor up to ask them questions. And then when there's synergy, they can go further. There's been incredible success stories already, and then they've got a $10,000 grant you can pitch for as well. You know, you don't have that opportunity at school.
Yeah.
Maybe the rich schools, but then their parents are rich enough to fucking give them 10 grand anyway.
Yeah, they just pitch to the parents.
Yeah. No, mate, that sounds actually quite incredible.
Well, it's something I've been looking for a long time, and moving into the content that I want to make, I'm done with all of this bullshit collaborations that I'm not interested in anymore.
Yeah.
And, like it was fun at the start. Like,
yeah, because you see the money coming in, you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, how good's this? Building a business, building a franchise.
Exactly. And then when I pivoted to being able to help that brand behind the scenes, that was awesome because one, it was more money, and two, I didn't have to put my face in front of it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Red Rooster, right? Great brand to work with. The people internally, awesome people.
Yeah.
Do I want to have fucking seed oil fried chicken in, promoting through that I don't no longer have or believe in? Absolutely not. But if there's an opportunity to help with the marketing side to build my thing up, my production company or whatever, then yeah, cool. But it sounds like a little bit of a contradiction too.
Yeah,
if I won't
conflict of
promote
interest.
it, why would I help them promote themselves?
Yeah.
So there's this existential crisis sort of thing that I'm just like, fuck.
We have genuinely, like, the first thing that Delby said when we got approached by Disney Plus is like, we talk shit about them and like how they indoctrinate kids. Do we want to?
Exactly.
And a part of us was like, well, fuck.
On the flip side, I
It's a
love
good-
Disney movies.
Yeah.
Though. I fucking love Shrek. I love Inside Out.
Yeah, and so like it's good that was our first thought, was like, do we want to prostitute ourselves out?
No, exactly.
Yes, we do.
To begin with.
Yeah, to begin. Sometimes, and you do. Sometimes you probably just take what you can and then realize.
And it's
maybe,
cost benefit analysis, because if someone sees you've worked with Disney Plus,
correct. Yeah.
like even though
But
they
yeah.
could be considered
But
an
what
evil
are you-
corporation.
What are you afraid of though? Like in terms of, let's say later on, someone's like, "Oh, you guys are sellouts because you had Disney Plus on your thing," and they're
You just own everything.
Yeah.
You just got to own it. You just go,
100%.
that's the position we're in.
Yeah,
It's like
we-
Snoop Dogg when he
100%.
made that when he was in that interview. It's like, do you regret saying all that stuff in your previous songs? Like,
Yeah.
no, fuck them hoes.
Yeah, because you're right though. Because if you own it, same with like
Trump.
yeah,
I didn't call all ladies fat, just Rosie O'Donnell.
Just Rosie
Like-
O'Donnell. Yeah, exactly. Like if you own it, they can't fucking come at you. It's just like, look, I was a fucking dickhead back then. Like, or I used to do
But
this.
what
or
if you're
I
aware
was
of it?
desperate.
Yeah.
If you're currently aware of it,
Yeah.
like what we were,
and it's like a strategic money situation
Well,
where
like
you
what-
need to pay the bills because morals don't pay the bills.
well, like what Delby
true.
said, you can either be you can be strong and just go, nah, we're sticking to it, or you can go, look, it was our situation at the time.
Yeah.
We needed it.
Yeah. It's all horses for courses.
It is. It's interesting. Like I don't know how you
Pasteurised
battle it.
horses for courses.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is. I think either way, if you stand strong in your morals and you go, nah, we're not doing it, something else will come along.
Like if Pfizer wanted to do an ad,
that's not happening. That's just like
there's no way.
Didn't you get approached by someone to?
Oh yeah,
To
I messaged
to
you. I was like,
influence
like,
vaccines?
it wasn't like the COVID vaccines. Oh shit, this fucking episode's flagged now. Sorry.
We're so good.
You're fully
If
flagged.
our
anyway.
last three haven't been,
Yeah, so I remember messaging you about this. It was just like a flu fucking booster shot advertisement, and I was like, nah, I don't. I'm not going to take it myself because I haven't taken a booster shot for like decades. I haven't been sick in fucking decades either.
strange that.
And I just blame my Soviet blood. It's just impenetrable.
Or the flu can't reach those heights.
That's right.
That's
right.
It's just down here with the peasants.
But I've had Afterpay approach me, and I don't want to promote consumer debt, sports bet.
I'd be all over that.
Delby would be all over.
Afterpay your sports bet.
Well, I would
during your vaccination shot.
Yeah, what would you do, Delby, with like sports bet?
Sports bet, I would definitely promote because it'd be fun. It's something that I use. But you just do everything. Gamble responsibly. But also, I'm pissed off at sports bet, so I want to get my money back because they've banned me.
I'll work with you, but don't ban me.
Yeah, they ban me
What do they ban you for?
for winning too much.
For winning too much.
Yeah,
So I found a little hack in their system, and then they send you an
Have you done forever then?
done. I ask every year. I'm like, can I come back, guys? And they're like, let me check with the traders. No, trader's discretion. No, you're not allowed.
You're a vibe.
Yeah.
You're a liability. You sound like that guy, that tattooed guy that goes to Vegas. And get the guy.
Yeah.
And,
Corey or something.
Yeah, you're the digital version.
Yeah. No, I was. So that was a good 3 or 4 years ago. Now my betting is sort of up and down.
Just two up at the Cass.
Oh, fuck. They don't even do that anymore.
That was the funnest one because it
fun.
takes ages.
Yeah.
So you can't just lose your money so quickly. It's just a bit of fun. Like
I used to love the little
Anzac
horse
Day.
race game. They took that away. There was these little fake horses that would run around in a circle.
Yeah.
That was hell fun because all the roughies would win all the time.
The only gambling I do is poker with my mates.
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
You know, that's I just feel like it's donating to my mates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've ended up like getting to the point. I very rarely gamble now, and it's more like it's this mindset of like if I'm gambling and trying to make money there,
You should put it in something else.
I'm sort of put that energy into like gamble and like
Index
shares
funds.
or create like I used salt lamps yesterday or the day before, but like inventing something or creating something I believe in.
Well,
you probably would because you're putting less energy into that. And
The psychology of gambling is very interesting
Yeah.
because if I was to bet 50, 100, 150, $200 on a Saturday, don't blink twice.
Yeah.
You know, fuck. Yeah, well, lost.
Yeah.
But if I was to put $200 into an ad campaign for my shows, it's such a, you're like,
interesting-
oh, that's so much money to invest. You're investing in yourself and you'll
That's-
probably get a way better return than you would putting it
And
on
it
the punt.
compounds as well.
Yeah.
And you don't
Such
get
an
banned.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's such an.
Yeah, I always think about it because, like, or even I might go shopping and there's like a pair of shorts for $90.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck, that's so pricey for shorts.
Yeah.
I'll wear those shorts for a year.
Yeah.
I'll put $90 on 3 races.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know where
That's such
or
a
what
good
the
point.
what the what's the word the chasm is between
the
how you view your money. Is it because you
Cognitive
see it in a
dissonance, maybe,
digital?
or- yeah.
Because you see it in like a digital format and it's not like in a product value.
It's a
or is it
psychological
because-
thing, yeah.
Maybe it's because of future returns
Well,
and it's so immediate.
Maybe
You're like,
the potential instant gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no emotional attachment because it's not physical.
Yeah.
You know?
And you like it because it's. What do you say? Because even when you get close, you're like, "Oh, see, I knew I was right."
Yeah, it's for me with the footy betting. It's always about seeing where the bookies are fucked up.
Yeah.
and they've offered way too higher odds. Like classic example, Sicily last year in the prelim or the semi, 100 to 1 to kick 2 goals, and he was moved to full forward. So I've put $80 on it, and he kicked 1 goal 3 the cunt. So it's like for an $8,000 win.
He was definitely a probe.
So in
Stitch
like,
up.
and like if for example, Sportsbet approached us because we're so heavily on the mental health. I don't think we could.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
But also resilience, bro. Like get some fucking resilience. Know your limits. You know, like I'm big on mental health, but also you need you can't rely on someone else to stop you gambling. Ultimately. But then, it's a catch-22 because we're promoting it, but we're not promoting a service to
Well, it's
offset
like
it.
why we can't raise money for certain charities with that beer run.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you
it's like
associate
that-
alcohol with a mental health
Well, it's like
charity,
that-
they're like, what?
it's like that dude that's doing that LMCT or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
That guy.
The raffles.
The raffles.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's gambling as well.
Yeah.
But he's being stung by the ATO or fucking the government, and then everyone's like, oh my God, but he's just trying to help people. I'm like, well,
Has
so
he
are the
been done
pokies.
now?
Yeah, well, no, that's
Has
just
he been fined or something?
I've just been reading some comments,
Yeah.
but like, I don't agree with what he does.
Yeah.
because it's an entry point to more.
It's
to more,
just a
to more, to
submission.
more.
It's just a subscription fee to a raffle where you get.
But this
big
guy's
prizes.
a billionaire from it.
Yeah.
And he's making more and more money from other people's, hopes and dreams from money that could be better spent investing in themselves.
Yeah, but that's not his fault.
It's not his
Yeah.
fault, but he's created the platform to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
I'm so torn on that because so is like Escalante from Perth who made virtual gaming worlds.
I use him as the next example.
Yeah.
This is the exact person. I don't rate these guys
Yeah.
because they are technically taking advantage.
Yeah, but I like the idea that they've created something where, like, they've been self-made, and like,
That's cool.
if you're
self-made by someone else's gambling addiction, that's not self-made. That's being a
but you
fucking...
can't look after everyone, man. Everyone's an adult. You got to have some sort of responsibility for your actions.
But adding
sure.
to the, you're right. But if you're adding more to the problem,
But no one's forcing you to join. Like, no one's saying you have to join, man. Like, it's up to these people that want a quick way out and they want a quick fix. Instead of investing in themselves, instead of
Yeah.
going, oh shit, I should be putting that $50 into X, Y, Z.
But okay, translate that to, you know what? I'm going to start making meth. It's there. It's
Fuck
up
yeah.
to them
Let's
if
go.
they want to do it. I'm going to fucking Heisenberg this shit.
Yeah, but that's an illegal thing. So it's not illegal to create these businesses.
Of course, but it's
So-
the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's the same as the
And
problem.
my thing is for kids, and this goes back to my
Meth for kids.
My
That's
three
a
main
great move.
things. My three main things are self-awareness. So if you have a gambling addiction and you're not self-aware about it,
Yeah.
you're just going to get taken advantage of.
Correct.
And these people stack up. It's like, oh, I'm going to subscribe to this. I'm going to go on online gambling. You know, it all stacks up. It adds to the pile. So I'll talk about escapism soon. The second one is financial fitness. If you're investing in something that has very low odds of probability to give you back something, you are not financially fit. And you're not going to be for as long as you do that. And then the third thing is pivoting. Once your self-awareness is good enough to go, you know what, I don't want to fucking do this job anymore, like you did with the sheet metal. I'm now financially fit enough to pivot because I didn't fucking waste my money into shit like, you know, Escalante's online gambling or old mates raffles.
Yeah.
You know, or
Proviso,
sports
I have
bets.
invested in VGW shares, so I do not hold the same opinion as Seth. However, I think if I was to flip my mindset actually and look at what I'm saying, I think for young people, yes,
That's where I'm coming from.
yeah. As an
specifically.
adult, when you're 30 or
As
whatever,
an adult,
yeah.
you know,
You make your own.
fucking go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever, live your best life.
I
If that's
agree.
your best life,
'cause you can
I'm
learn
about
from that.
prevention.
Yeah.
I'm about prevention.
Yeah.
Because if I was to tell my 15-year-old self, Sev, when you discover sports bet,
Yeah.
the money that you will have wasted
Yeah.
in that time will have given you much better results 10, 15 years from now.
I
Right?
would've
Get
said-
Bitcoin on 2013 instead of fucking sports bet.
Like, do you know that happened on a trip we were at together?
Yeah.
The guy came up to us in the kangaroo bar and he's like, get on this Bitcoin shit.
Really?
And we're like, fuck. Nah. It
Just
would've
a
been
random
like,
guy in Thailand.
Mate, it was like
Hindsight.
2012, 13,
Yeah,
14,
hindsight,
somewhere around
though.
that. Hindsight. And he was
Hindsight.
like, oh man, I drive a Ferrari back
Yeah.
home. This is going to be the next big thing. We're all like,
Yeah. So those are moments, right? But now hindsight, to prevent the kids from looking back at hindsight going, fuck, I wish I didn't, you know, invest in all of this shit. I should have invested in my education, learn about ads and created 5 to 10 return on ad spend. I have a 17-year-old kid who does his jock socks. You've probably seen my stuff with them, the jock socks.
maybe.
He's got an
What's
underwear.
jock socks?
So have you heard of Step 1?
Sounds like something you used to jerk off.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's created an underwear brand.
Yeah.
And he's learnt the shipping, and he's got it all in his house. His mum's, you know, she's a baker.
What's his niche? What's the difference with these jocks?
Well,
Well, they
they're
jocks and socks
bamboo.
together.
No,
Yeah.
they're bamboo, and like just look up JOXSOX, and it's just he's focused on that, and that's all he's focused on, and he's had his best Black Friday ever. He's made over $10,000 in sales,
Yeah.
and I saw a post of the other day, 134,000 in sales since inception, and he's 17, right? That's the sort of shit I want to promote for everyone else instead of adding to escapism. And I'll tell you what escapism is to me. Fuck yeah, footy's on the weekend. We're talking about it. Sweet, culture. We love footy, you know, but then it's like, oh, did you put any bets on?
Yeah.
Escapism. So we're starting to stack up. Oh, fuck, I can't wait till that movie comes out from Marvel. How good's that? Fucking 6th installment of the same Spider-Man movie. I'm so fucking keen.
100%.
So another stack. Then you have an event. Oh, mate, fucking this festival's on. How good's this? Oh, Wolfie's headlining down the Comedy Lounge. Fucking how good's that? Now, all of these individually, great. But all of it stacks up. No wonder we're depressed.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any time for ourselves to lock in, get off our phones and go, what do I really want to do with my life? But all of these distractions are stacking up, and then we don't realize what we need to do is chase our curiosity and build on that and really research the shit that we need to use, like, you know, the education on how to run ads, education on how to make content, education on how to build a business and how to network and how to communicate. Shit we don't do because we're in front of the fucking phone because school's boring, doesn't challenge us enough. and we're just going escapism.
It's external motivation or external gratification versus internal.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we're missing.
And we talked about, you called and you were asking because you're concerned. And I genuinely had spoken to Delby about this as well. Like, where's that line between thinking exactly what you're saying, suggesting that maybe there's too much escapism in the world and potentially
100%.
we should be a bit more present. Maybe we should be focusing on something we can do ourselves to make change or impact or internally change and make ourselves a bit more happier and motivated. And then, but
we are doing
exactly
the escapism for people.
And so I had to wrestle with this for a few weeks, and I can't remember if I said it to you, but I definitely said it to you, was that idea of we all have a story, but what good is a good story if we don't speak each other's language?
Yeah.
And so by us saying this over and over and over again, and these moments in time, it might seem repetitive, it might seem escapism, but that one time it has that one impact on that one person, that's where it makes a difference. And so sometimes people aren't ready. They just want escapism. They just want to chill out.
Yeah.
They just want to go, right, I want to go do my 9 to 5. I want to zone out. I want to be a good dad. I want to come home. I want to shut off and have a beer.
Yeah.
And that's completely
That's
fine. But
fine
at
too.
one point, they might get to 50 years old and go, I'm done. All that escapism got me through, but that one time I heard that Jim Carrey speech where now I can hear something else. Yeah. Now I can pivot.
But also, there's no one saying this is the right way to live. If you enjoy your 9 to 5,
correct,
and you are like, fuck yeah, I go in, I get gratification from grinding my ass off. I get paid. I look after my family.
Yes. I'm
going to the pub or I'm watching the footy and I fucking love it. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And that's where it is. It's the idea that you can do something more. You can do that, but you don't have to.
I'm just saying, check in on those 3 things. Check in on your self-awareness. Are you still happy with your job?
Yeah.
Are you still happy that, because you break it into 3s, right? Third is you're asleep.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. So you have half your life that you're at work. If you're deep down inside would rather do something else, you need to nurture that. Because by the time you're 50 or later on when you're retired, fucking regret is bad. I've spoken to these old people. I've taken that advice from people going, talk to old people.
And that doesn't mean they can't do it.
No, they can't do it. Exactly.
But,
Yeah, they can still do it.
But still.
But that self-awareness needs to be taken into consideration. And then the financial fitness, as you get older, you're not wasting your money to the point where you've still got the handcuffs, the golden handcuffs, right? And then when you go, fuck, holy shit, I'm actually done with this job, but I can't move. This is my life for the rest of my life because I haven't been financially fit. Those 3 things are like solid. When I first left school,
watch
the
out with that
education
signal
system,
that you just did there. That was an Illuminati triangle by accident there.
when I first
You and Jay-Z, holy shit.
here we go. When I first
You been to as many Diddy parties, bro? Or?
None. When I first left school as a teacher, the kids would ask me, Sev, what did you leave school for? And I didn't have a proper answer, but now I do. Those 3 things are not nurtured collectively together in school to then become, when you become adults, I understand if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s and you pay, you work, you pay, you look after your family and you're stoked to get home to go to the pub, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck yes, sick. But I'm hearing a lot more stories now since I've started talking about this shit of people messaging me in their 50s going, Sev, you're fucking right. I am not happy.
Yeah.
What do I do? And I'm like, holy shit, you get people like 50 years old. I'm not a life coach.
Can people come that are 50 to an Idea Academy, or is it only year 10 to 12? Because really, there might be a market for people
the diploma side is a 1-year diploma. You come away with a business diploma.
Oh, that's pretty
But
cool.
it's targeted for
young people.
for 17 to 24-year-olds.
See, the problem with our schooling is that,
That's what TAFE is for.
Yeah, our education system it'll never fit the needs of everyone because we're trying to do a one-size-fits-all model, which just doesn't work.
But that's where the people think that they're satisfied with their job because they're used to that indoctrination, that what's it called?
Institutionalized.
Institutionalized to get into it.
Yesterday, I saw the report that only 25% of year 11 and 12s are doing ATAR now, which suggests that there's a different pathway going on, whereas back in our day, it was probably 50-50.
Do you think it's entrepreneurship?
I think that the schooling system hasn't caught up with the advances in job opportunities yet. There's so much good stuff happening in schools. There's STEM programs, there's business, there's all sorts of stuff.
But there's aerospace and stuff happening now.
But you got to reverse engineer what the ATAR is for. Like
To-
my
to get
favorite
into
question.
uni.
Yeah, my favorite question to year 12s was, why are you doing ATAR?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to get to this degree. I was like, okay, cool, awesome. Okay, let's say it's engineering. You want to do engineering? Awesome. Why?
Yeah.
You know, so I do the Socratic method to them. It's like, what job do you want with that degree? And they're like, oh, I want to do this. Awesome, cool. Who in your family or who have you observed doing that job that makes you go, holy shit, this is for me? They're like, a lot of them, most of them say,
No one.
no one.
Yeah.
I'm like, so do you know the day-to-day of this job? They're like, no. So why are you studying, committing 4 years of something that you might be able to do? Now, they will get skills. They will stack. They will discover how fucked uni is anyway. And they will have a nice HEX debt at the end of it.
Yeah.
Whether they pivot to a different degree anyway, you know, oh, that's just discovering. Yeah, but then you have fucking HEX debt.
Yeah, I did it 3 times.
Right?
I changed 3 times.
Exactly. But
Yeah, because you can always change your ideas and what you like.
you need at least a 2-year gap.
There has to be.
I agree.
There has
What the
to be.
fuck?
Yeah.
Like, parents should not be pushing them. They should be pushing them into workforces. Go work at Macca's. Go work at Kmart.
Yeah.
Go work at, you know,
go work.
hospitality.
Just go do something.
Go work
Yeah.
and
travel.
and figure it out.
And travel.
Oh,
It's
but, you know,
yeah, it's funny because I always felt like that. When I was 15, you're forced to make decisions that affect you when you're 18, 19, 20.
Oh,
which
when you're 40, 50,
yeah,
60.
you have no idea who you're going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
What subjects do you want to do? Well, I don't know. Well, these subjects get you into this university pathway. What do you want to do when you leave school? I don't know. I'm fucking 15. Like,
Yeah.
I've got no idea. Okay.
Yeah, don't be in a
You look
race.
at all I did was look at all the entry university courses and see which one had the prerequisite for the most. So I'm like, all right, chemistry opens all these doors. Unfortunately, drama opens only one door. So I was like, fuck, I got to choose all these things. And by the time I'm 18, I'm like, I still don't know what I want to do.
It's still quite a logical way of thinking, though, at that age, Delby.
Yeah, but like there was no
That's really
real world
good.
experience. Yeah, I didn't know what any job actually did though.
you didn't
Like,
have the
yeah,
right
100%,
people
yeah.
to nurture that.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
it
know?
needs to be. There needs to be some sort of work experience or some other way of building up skills, and then you go out and you get your work experience.
AI has started doing that.
It's nuts.
AI has started doing that.
In what way?
Where you can take a survey or take a quiz and it then pivots you to, it's kind of like a personality test,
Yeah.
but more so for what your interests are. And then in real time, it's able to grab this faster than a career counselor can from their own personal experience and observations and biased opinions anyway. Whereas AI can go, oh, you said this, and this. Here are 10 different options of actual jobs you can do. Which one do you like the most? Oh, I want to do I want to make money off YouTube, which is all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly all kids.
I was going to say,
cool.
there's the problem.
Now, you mentioned that you like playing Minecraft. Now, would you like to make money playing Minecraft on YouTube? It's like, fucking oath I do. Great. Until then, here are some other ways you can make money from playing Minecraft before you get to monetization on YouTube. And one of them is teaching primary school kids how to play Minecraft. I literally did an interview with a kid, 13-year-old, and I was like, what do you want to do? He goes, I want to make money from YouTube. I was like, cool. We did the thing. I got him to get his phone out, and he literally Googled it. He didn't fucking use Google before in his life, right? And we got to the point where he could do it asked him questions. It's like, oh, here are the different ways you can make money from Minecraft. One of them was tutor kids how to play Minecraft. And I was like, it'd be cool if you made 10, 15 bucks an hour to teach a 7-year-old how to play Minecraft? He's like, yeah.
So who's doing that? The parents for fucking babysitting instead. You're just tutoring a Minecraft instead of having a babysitter.
Yeah.
That's it.
But fuck, bro. I mean, it all sounds good, but in reality, we're going to have out of a 200 cohort, 150 people wanting to create content. Where's the doctors come from? Where's the tradies come from? Where does all the important parts of society come from?
I'm not saying there won't be any.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if that's your passion, that will happen. But I'm just saying that, like,
Yeah, some people might love to be a doctor.
Yeah, I have a mate who was a doctor became a doctor straight out of high school, straight out of, went straight to uni, graduated, and he hung out with doctors who were twice his age, in their 50s, and he looked at their lifestyle and goes, man, you're making $300,000, $400,000 a year, but your lifestyle's cooked. You're depressed, you're stressed, you don't look like you're aging well.
He must be a good doctor to make that diagnosis.
But then he pivoted and he ended up creating a product and selling it for millions of dollars by the age of 27 and escaping the rat race.
In the medical field, or
Yeah, in the medical field.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know, but that's just a self-awareness thing. It's not going to happen to everybody, but it's just the awareness.
The awareness is huge, I think. Awareness of anything. Like, I always use that example of like doing the mushrooms, all that shit that you learn in your mushrooms. What's the point of doing them if you don't implement changes based on what you learned?
Yeah.
Same with any sort of, if you just go see a therapist and they go, right, you've got these feelings because of this trauma and this is how you can sort of address it. If you don't address it, what's the fucking point of learning about it? So the awareness is the first, but then it's starting to go, all right, well, how can I implement changes? Where do I want to pivot to?
Who's going to have a more expensive lifestyle, a janitor or a doctor?
Who knows? Well, you would think relatively the doctor would because they have more money.
Yeah,
and
Exactly.
Their 5% is higher than a janitor's 5%.
Now, if you swap the lifestyles around and the salaries, who's going to become more successful and more financially free sooner?
Well, it depends how smart the janitor is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's assume that they both
Same intelligence.
think in this. Yeah, same intelligence.
Well, the person with more time and more money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So if the janitor was on a doctor's wage, right, or if the doctor had the janitor's lifestyle expenses, the doctor would be far well off sooner, right? But the problem is when we become whatever profession we have, over 95% of people, they upgrade their cost of living with that salary.
Yeah.
And that's lack of financial fitness. Whereas a janitor, you know, they're not making as much money, so they're not going to spend as much or have lavish shit. But if that mindset is applied to the doctor, they're going to be financially free significantly sooner. But that is possible for any job, even teachers.
yeah.
We just upgrade our lifestyles. Like when we get a permanency, like how many teachers that you see in the first 3 years of permanency, they're like, fuck yeah, I just got a mortgage.
Get a brand new car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. You're in that industry now
Yeah,
for a
you're fucked.
long fucking time. Yes, your job's secure. You work for the government, but
Yeah.
you're there.
If you like it, happy days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you like it, happy days.
You're fucked.
But how many of those teachers don't realize that until like 10 years in? How many FIFO workers don't realize that until 5-10 years in after they've bought their jet ski, their Hilux, their fucking, you know, their $2 million home that they've overextended for.
Yeah.
And then they go, fuck, I can't leave this job.
I guess, is that their journey though?
It is their journey. But
That's part of it,
Can
isn't
it be preventative? Because I'm seeing so many people stressed, depressed,
Yeah.
and fucking suicidal because they realize, holy shit, I've dug myself a hole without realizing it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about here. I want to make sure people are aware early. So then if they still make their decision, okay, cool. And if they still make the decision, they're able to get out of it,
I
not
agree.
by, you know, killing themselves.
Yeah.
The hard part is like when we did our very, very first ever live app with Joel Kelly, that didn't go live.
Yeah.
It's all well and good to tell people, oh, you can pivot, but how, man? There's a big gap between I'm a sheet metal worker, but I want to do YouTube. How do you learn, or how do you make that transition? What do you need? Do you need an accountant? Do you
Okay,
need
perfect.
An economist? What
Yeah,
do you know?
perfect. So when you are not working as a sheet metal worker, you have a downtime, right? Are you using that downtime for escapism? Are you going to, you know, the fucking sports bet, TAB, and, you know, shitting it up the wall and then complaining that you're banned? Or are you going to the movies every fucking week because you're a movie critic, but you're still not happy with your life? Or are you paying attention to yourself to go, fuck, I really want to do this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Where can I go to learn about it? Right? Now, what did you do as a sheet metal worker during your shifts?
Yeah.
You had something that you listened to.
Yeah.
You had the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, had
right?
escapism, yeah.
So that was escapism, but did you learn something from it that motivated you?
Yeah, Gary V actually. those
Exactly.
ones, yeah.
So that could be considered escapism, but it's a different form of escapism, which is escaping from the shit life that you have that you did something about because you listened to the right thing.
Isn't it funny as well, because like we went pretty similar time.
Yeah.
We both went on the Gary V idea.
Yeah.
And his concept was, if you're in a job that you hate, sheet metal, and you want to go to, I knew what I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
But even if you don't, if you have a general idea, like I'll try that. When you finish work, start doing
Exactly.
3 hours after work,
Exactly.
4 hours, 5 hours. Then you start getting some, and slowly build it up over 10 years. Don't
That's-
try and
that's-
rush. I probably rushed after 18 months. I stepped out.
But people want it instantly.
100%.
And when they don't get it instantly, they don't get their gratification.
Now-
they go to quick fixes like the escapism.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to go watch my footy because my team's, looking like they're going to win. And I'm going to base my emotions for the next 24 hours or week of if they succeed or lose. Because I can't do it myself.
So what was the first thing that I said? You'll remember this. What was the first thing I said that I wanted to do? What was my goal to do? Do you remember what my goal was?
I think it was to work for yourself. And
No. Like someone I wanted to chat to.
Oh yeah, you wanted to have Jim Carrey on a call.
Yeah,
and we tried. We
called up. We called up Jim Carrey's agency, and they
Yeah.
said we had to network, build relationships, build up until we could actually get someone.
We
who
needed a
knew him who
referral.
could we needed a referral.
Yeah.
How close are you?
Well, I think we're getting to that.
We're closer to
Closer,
than
100%.
back then.
But that was always the original goal.
Yeah.
To chat to him, interview him. And then for some reason, I thought the way to do that is to create a media company and then go down the video path. It's interesting because that's what I thought the path was. It's all led back to this, which was the original goal, was to chat to people and interview people who have something valuable to deliver.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise that was the goal. I didn't realise this was the goal. I thought this was a bit of fun on the side. And then this was just going to, well, not even fun on the side, just what you do if you have a media company because it's content. And then the media company ended up being like kind of cool, way better than fucking going to sheet metal and covered in polish and in a 40-degree welding factory every day. But eventually, same thing. I was like, I don't like this either.
No.
And then everything's whittled out and it's still come down to this was it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know this was the one. So even if you don't know what you want to do, if you have a general idea of interests, explore into that. And then
100%.
eventually it might lead to another part, like Delby's
Celebrancy.
Yeah, exactly. So your favourite thing might be Celebrant in the end, or it might be MC, or it might be comedy, whatever it is. But you dipping your toe in comedy has led you to 48 other things, and who knows what the end up goal might be. Yeah. But you knew
That's the exciting
there's another
part.
little thing to dip your toe into,
Yeah.
and that one thing you dip your toe into will eventually, I think, as long as you know deep down here that's what you want to do, you'll eventually come to that path of like,
But
I
it's the
found what I want.
permission. It's the permission to pay attention to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, at any point in time, whether it's young, current, older, whenever, you listen to yourself and you left teaching, right? You did celebrancy, you did comedy, stand up. You've got your Fringe World gigs and whatever else that you do, your podcasts and stuff. Is that much more fun than just being in the classroom all day?
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, I loved teaching.
I love
It's a
teaching
lot-
too.
Mentally, it's a lot less stressful.
Yeah.
But also, like, the freedom is great. Not having to get up at a certain time every day and be in a place at a certain time.
Well, I even look back on sheet metal and with nostalgia and go, I used to love the banter you'd have with the lads in the workshop, and you go get your smoko together, and I still miss that shit. And like the work, some of the work was challenging and like you challenge your mind, and I had to do trigonometry sometimes, which is fucking weird for a sheet metal worker. But like, I still look back on it, and I used to say I'd made a mistake.
Yeah.
You would probably, well, I don't know. You're pretty,
I loved
you're
it.
pretty aware of it, but I used to say I'd made a mistake and I'm gonna go back instead of like, no, I didn't make a mistake. That was just the pathway to figure out.
That's the way to
That's
do
not
it.
what I didn't like. So I didn't like that.
The
That's
question,
not the one. That
the
was
question
the film.
I asked myself when I had a crossroads between multiple things that I was doing at the same time, I was like, I reckon I can do better in my creative photography stuff than if I was kind of half 2 feet into different industries. But the question I asked was, which one would I be most disappointed in walking away from? And that would be my creative side. And I'm an all in or nothing person, right? And when I went all in on my wedding photography, I made double my school salary.
Yeah.
And I worked fucking 30 days a year as opposed to 200 plus days as a school teacher.
Yeah.
Now, I love the days as a school teacher, but I also was like, right, I can always go back to this if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And let's say I go back 20 years from now and I'll be 53. Man, I'll have some fucking great stories as
Yeah,
a
100%.
teacher.
Yeah.
I always loved the teachers who had cracker stories to tell.
Yeah.
Because they were the most interesting. I was invested. And then when it was time to learn, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to learn from this guy.
Are you still doing weddings out of interest?
Yeah.
And will you continue to do them? Do you like them, or is that just a...
it's going to be a hard shut off at the end of 2026. I'm only doing 5 weddings next year.
Yeah.
And then 5 weddings the year after.
Yeah.
Unless someone wants to pay me a lot of money to fly me to Italy or something.
Yeah. That's the last wedding I accepted. They flew me to Italy.
Yeah.
That's like, no more.
Yeah. But the universe challenges me, right? It's like,
You say that, and then
you
another
don't want-
offer will come through.
Right. Well,
Always.
I had a meeting yesterday with a couple who's interested in me, and I got a text I got an email from the girl. She's like, Sev, I've been following you on TikTok for years. Now that I'm engaged, I'm finally reaching out, and I'm like, cool. This is the standard text. But it's also important for me to kind of stay in the loop because practicing what I kind of preach for my production company and my business advisory and all that shit, I feel more of a fraud the longer I create a gap from actually have done it to teaching other people how to do it. Yeah. So if I hadn't worked and done what I've done for the last 3 years, I don't feel like I'm up to date, and I just feel like I'm reading out of a book. May as well go fucking be a teacher again.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas if I'm going, hey, I just did this and I made 10 grand this month because of this strategy, then, you know, remember when I said to you with your celebrancy, you know, increase your rates and you weren't sure, and then it fucking worked out for you.
Yeah.
I'm hungry for more data to go, what else can I learn in the field that then I can apply to other people, then they can go, like Dave Hughes.
Yeah.
He said he's made 40 grand, don't know if I can say this, but he's made 40 grand off of a simple strategy that I learnt in the field. From
Our mate or David?
Yeah.
Dave,
Yeah.
So it's the tiered system. So instead of quoting one thing, you quote 3 different packages, and they're not saying yes or no. They're saying, oh, that one.
Yeah.
He's crushed it with that. And obviously I learnt that from someone else, but I didn't just tell him that because I learned it from someone else. I've applied it for myself, which gave me the permission to teach someone else.
And I used to do that with the wedding packages.
And
the
that's-
most expensive one. You're like,
and that's
that's
where,
silly.
and that's where
this middle one's the one I want them to take.
But that's where I'm not rating the school system anymore, because all I see is a lot of these teachers, they don't practice what they preach. You know the whole saying, if you don't do, you teach?
Yeah.
I feel like the school system needs teachers that have done it. And then they can teach it. Oh, yeah, you went to uni to study it. Yeah, in theory. You can, you know, maths is a bit black and white, but again, if without any contextual stories and applications to what you're teaching, it's fucking boring.
Yeah. Well, all things can be boring without the right teacher.
Exactly.
The people that should be teachers are the ones that enjoy being around, without sounding creepy, the ones that enjoy being around kids and enjoy hanging out with teenagers and enjoy making a difference. I fucking loved going in, having a laugh, pulling the piss, and then seeing someone that didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it was fun, bro, like running experiments and doing shit and like showing the kids stuff they'd never seen before and telling them stories. That was wicked. The shit part is the politics that come with it. We haven't got this budget. We can't go on an excursion. We can't book this thing in. We can't do this. Oh, you need to do you need to do a general education plan. You need a report. You need to fucking make sure you're literate. You got ITC literacy. You've got, we got to focus on literacy now as well as IT literacy. Oh, and now we got to implement this other program. Oh, then we have to bring it online and do the role. And then we've got to do autism thing. And then you're like, fuck. When are we going to teach them something?
Yeah.
You know? So it's before you even walk in the door, you've got 15 priorities that aren't even to do with making your kids smarter.
What's the solution to that?
I honestly think the problem with our education system is the syllabus is way too in-depth and way too big. What we are mandated to teach the kids is it's impossible, man. Like it's just for chemistry. You know that the chemist buffs have got in a room and go, oh, we have to do this, and someone else is passionate about precipitation, and we need to learn this. Reality is you don't need to learn fuck all of that. You need to do like real fucking basic and then allow them to choose what they're interested in.
And then funnel them further.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do titration?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, do that at this time.
Yeah, give them a little sniff of everything and then just go, this is what you're interested in.
It's
Cool.
so
That's
intense.
self-awareness.
If you just look at a curriculum, what we're supposed to teach, I would venture a guess that 90% of school programs do not cover what we're actually meant to. Like, we'll have like lip service to it, or you'll do something and you make everything fit. Yeah, we're doing this. But there's no in-depth, there's no quality control.
No.
So it's fucked. There's just too much. And it blows my mind at what I was capable of doing when I was 16 and 17. I don't think I'd be able to do that now. Doing ATAR, like we had 5 ATARs, some people had 6 ATARs at once. You're studying for 3-hour exams times 5 in a week space where you've got 1 hour of it a day and you're expected to learn absolutely fucking everything on it.
And Call of Duty just dropped.
And yeah. You know, you got then you got social life. I was quite
We had James
lucky.
Bond. Goldeneye. Goldeneye watch parties.
Yeah, I was lucky. I very rarely studied. I didn't do much what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you're
I
quite
made
smart
sure
though,
my
Nat.
English was, I needed to memorize the quotes and the technique. And because I got told that I would be shit at English, I had like a bit of extra
I'm the
motivation.
same. I had a tutor as well.
Yeah.
And then like I bailed out of ATAR one term into year 11. I was like, no, this is fucked. I'm doing general. Still went to uni.
Yeah.
Didn't know at the time.
I
that
just
that
don't
was an
think we'd
option.
be able to do that now, man. And it's the amount of stuff we had going on at 17.
So
But there was I was lucky. I was no drugs, no alcohol, no like that. I had my footy was my outlet.
Yeah, same.
So
Same.
yeah,
It's all of our outlets. Like
Yeah.
me and Sev played at West Perth. Well,
Yeah.
you played at Subi for a bit, and then West Perth. Like that was our
yeah,
drive.
yeah.
As soon as that drive, because waffles are semi-professional. It's your motivation is to be the best footballer you can be.
Yeah.
You were still trying to get drafted. I know.
I was always all in or nothing.
Yeah.
And during the Subi years, I hated every second
Yeah,
because I didn't enjoy that culture.
Yeah.
And then when I went to West Perth, I was like, okay, is it going to be the same culture? Is it going to be the same dickheads? Or am I going to, start fresh and then pretend to be a dickhead too?
Yeah.
And fortunately, I did both.
yeah.
But it was so much more fun. But I
I had the
matured
same
by
experience at Subi.
I
I
had
didn't like
matured.
the culture at all. I was like, fuck these
I always
guys, man.
people
I
always
was out.
people ask me, Sev, did you do all the premierships in those years where they went on a run? And I always say to them, I'd rather win a wooden spoon with West Perth than win a premiership with the Subi guys.
Yeah.
Because those guys were just alpha, narcissistic sort of vibe.
Yeah, it was a shame because coming up in under 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s,
Yeah.
Subi was wicked, man.
Yeah.
They were all my tight mates, and as soon as it got to Colts, it was fucked, bro.
I don't know what they're like now, but my experience with them now, like Drew Road, who's ex-West Perth anyway. We had Lee Kitchener play with us the other day in golf, and he came with all the West Perth lads. And I don't know what their culture's like now. But back in the day when we were playing, fuck them.
I just didn't feel like appreciated, and I wasn't looking for like a cuddle.
Yeah.
But I just didn't feel like I was nurtured right to succeed.
But because my point was anyway, regardless, is like that sort of drive, that was almost servicing that purpose.
Yeah.
It gave us something to work towards. Like I didn't mind going to my work. I actually liked going to a sheet work metal job because I'd be thinking about, how can I get my body right? What can I eat at lunch to make sure I'm right? And footy was my focus.
Kept me accountable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As soon as I stopped playing there and just started playing amateurs and you don't have something that you're really driven towards, I was like, oh, fuck, I need something.
Yeah.
Like I'd realised, and some people don't have footy.
Yeah.
So they're like, what?
It is booze, or it is.
Yeah, and they turn to booze. They turn to like gambling. They turn to anything like escapism. Fucking just constantly like finish work, go on Netflix, whatever.
Yeah, it's finding something that you're obsessed with that isn't going to harm your body. You know,
That's a good
Pretty
thing.
tough.
But do you like? Is it? I guess first understanding that you don't need it first, and then going for it. More of a like, as in you don't need it to be happy, but this will fulfill you more.
Well, if it sparks your interest, then I guess chase that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Wherever it may take you, whether it's fulfillment or happiness or success, whatever it is, just explore that.
Yeah.
And see where it takes
The
you.
simplest way to, if you remember any good teacher you had, most of the time the reason that they were good is because you saw they loved what they were teaching and they enjoyed being there.
Yeah.
They're
they
the
were
two.
fu-
When
yeah.
you've got a teacher
Yeah.
that you remember, they're the pretty much the two things you remember.
Literally.
You apply that to any job. When you go to hire a car, I was in Sydney and this chick was so nice and so happy. I was like, man,
Yeah.
she fucking loves her job. Like she was just hiring me a car and it was the best experience that
That's
I had.
why I love, like I say that.
Oh,
I
the
say
engine room.
The
The
engine
girls
room
at engine
girls.
room.
Like
Yeah.
we go down there, they're just, hey, how are you? They're
Yeah.
always keen to have
Yeah.
a chat.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You're right. That's a fucking
And those
good
are the
thing.
people I want to be around. And
Yeah,
those are the
yeah.
clients I want to have. It's so hard pulling out information from a client who wants to be famous on social media to help leverage their business, just
Yeah.
like I did.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are a foot. Your personality is of a foot. Now they're paying me to get that,
Yeah.
you know, that charisma. And I'm just like, mate, firstly, you're narcissistic as fuck. So that's not going to work. But I'm going to try because I feel like I'm the best option that you have. I don't tell them that, obviously.
Yeah.
But like there's so much stubbornness out there. I'm just like, man, you've been doing this for years. You're doing really well. Yes,
How do you navigate that? Because
I'm
I know you
learning.
and you're a blunt
learning.
person.
I'm still learning. So the way that I'm doing it now is prevention. So I'm only really trying to take on clients who are already doing well. They want to go to the next level. They have charisma, they have camera presence, and they're willing to just go for it. If I was to ask them a question that their clients would ask them on a sales call, I was like, here's a question you normally get asked. Can you just give me an answer and then just go for it?
Yeah.
If they go on an absolute rant and they're like, you know, animated, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do this 300 times, you pay me money.
Yeah.
It's great. But
how do you communicate that without? Because we've talked about. Like
Straight up.
I'm the perfect example, Delby. You know as well.
Yeah.
Like my texting technique is terrible. It's horrific. I feel like the biggest.
I don't know
cunt.
how you had any clients.
Oh mate, mate. I used to. So for context, I
I'm
used to
the same.
sometimes go to Delby. Delby, how should I phrase this? Because this is to a client. I'm trying not to come across as a
Yeah.
cunt. You know me. You're all good. But this is a client. They don't know me on a personal thing. I actually ask him, how should I phrase this? But yeah, like, how do you do it? Because I know you. What you're like, nah, fuck off, cunt.
yeah.
Like you're just like that. I know what you're talking like though.
yeah, so educate them first. So just say, reassure that we're going for the same goal, which is sales.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then again, reverse engineer that to the next action that they need to take and then tell them why.
Yeah,
The reason why I was able to book out my weddings wasn't because I was TikTok famous, but because I say to them, listen, you're not hiring me just for the day. You're hiring me to be your wedding strategist, because if your strategy is shit, I'm going to fucking be all over the place on the day. And they're like, oh, tell me more. And then I would educate them, right? So how I do it on text, on email, even a call, I would say to them, if you don't understand anything about the process, contact me as soon as you can, because I'm here for you. It's my job. I understand it. I've done it so many times.
I did like filming weddings with you because
Yeah.
you'd
You're always
set it
up
up
and
right.
around and
Yeah,
fun.
Well, you'd set up
enjoying
the
it.
process
Yeah.
really well, so it was easy
But
for
I was,
me.
I
which
was
is
locked
easy
in
for you, yeah.
because I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas so many people go into the industry, whether it's weddings, creative, whatever, even comedy,
Yeah.
and they just go through the motions. One day they realize, oh, it's not for them, but it's all they have, and then they just become automatic,
Yeah.
or NPC.
Yeah.
And I say, I go for clients who want to be the market. I said this to you ages ago.
Yeah.
Don't be in the market, become the market, right? Like with the podcast stuff, like there's so many opportunities for all of us.
Yeah.
I want to become the market for podcast studio hire.
Yeah, I've
Right?
seen you. That studio looks sick, man.
Yeah, but like the education behind it is the difference, because everyone was like, hire my studio, look at my fucking setup. And I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, but here's my education of if you wanted to start a studio or you want to do your own podcast yourself, here's all the shit that you have to do. Here's a step-by-step guide. And they're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I now see the value of the money that you're asking me for that I said no for before,
Yeah.
because I realize the convenience of it. And that's the education side. And that's what you do when you text people. You go, okay, you want me to come out and shoot for you? No worries. Here's the
Well,
process.
in
Yes or no?
Sales fascinates me. I love the mindset of sales.
Yeah, well, in 3 years' time, when I can explain to someone how they have to do everything for the podcast, and it's going to cost us $100,000 a year to hire someone to do what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
it's just like most people, if we like TAFE students, I don't know if we can get enough TAFE students to do.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
I'm sure we can. But
You
yeah,
just
so
run
it's,
the mill.
It's, I don't think people realize what it
I think you should do
takes.
how-to videos
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can monetize
I
the
think
process
but I think
by
they'll
putting
see
it
it
up on YouTube.
I think they'll see it like what Sev just said and just go, Well, fuck that.
Yeah,
Like,
standard
so
operating
much.
But
procedure.
if 1 million people view it,
100%,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
$4,000.
You saw the post.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. Show them like this is how set up. This is the most professional one.
Yeah.
This is like a basic one.
Yeah.
This is how you can do clips and whatnot.
But
yeah.
but here's the kicker. Here's the big one that I learned from weddings and when I used to be a personal trainer. They don't choose you. You choose them. Right? So same with sponsorships. For you guys going into next year, it is do you want to be my sponsor? We would love for you to be our sponsor.
Yeah, we got to start doing that.
And
a
it's
bit more.
not
Like,
it's
I'm
not a
very-
please sponsor us.
Yeah.
It's we would like you to be our sponsor because you are the right fit and we feel like our audience resonates with you the most.
We've been very fortunate with the four that we've got
But
here.
you got to have the confidence and the balls to go, right, guys, we're going to the next level.
Yeah.
We're looking to now branch out and go, right, we need this sort of sponsor.
Yeah.
These are the best guys.
We're very lucky that they align with us, and then that's like-minded.
Alignment is everything.
They're like-minded, so we're never going to stop you from saying
But
anything,
that's
which
where
is
you
great.
choose the client.
Yes.
You know, it's the same with my clients. Like with weddings, I thought after I watched Crazy Rich Asians, I was like, I need Asian weddings. I need to get into the Asian ones.
Even the Indian ones are 4 days, bro.
Yeah, it's so good.
Bro, you know, it's like a retainer.
Yeah.
And then I, after a few of those, really well paid, my personality didn't suit it because I was too out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, they think I'm Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then
Gorilla.
What was that, Daniel?
No, that's how it was pronounced. The proper.
Oh, yeah.
From the movie Godzilla.
Yeah.
Say it
Where
again.
it's like gorilla. Gorilla. Not like the racist way.
Oh, okay.
Godzilla.
No, what's
Gojira.
What's the Theo Von Bobby Lee when he's like, "I'll be your dad," and he's like,
Oh, Bobby, yeah. He goes, Bobby. He's like, why are you going to go straight away? Yeah.
that was fucking funny.
But yeah.
So-
But what I was going to pivot to there was like, so all these they're fucking good points you're making.
Yeah.
Very good lessons that I think that a lot of young people can learn from. And now we see the social media ban, which I did want to touch on.
Yes.
Because a lot of your audience is kids.
Yes.
They're growing as well. So they're getting past this stage. But how do you hope to influence the new generations
Through the
coming
parents.
up?
Through the parents. It has to be through the parents. So what do parents do when their kids are running around and they're being a nuisance? They give them an iPad.
That's a great idea, actually, though.
So become the content they consume on the iPad to chill them out. Now, I'm not
Does
going to
that mean you
start
become a YouTube
Blues
for Kids
Clues
channel, I
fucking no. Well, there is a possibility, but the way that I do it, I need to really kind of test and look at. I don't want to become one of those colourful, hyperactive, check me out, you know, Steve from Blues Clues sort of thing. It needs to be educational.
But do you think it's for the protection of the kids, or do you think like us a little? It's more so to get your valid.
It's
your
both. It's
ID.
both. It's both.
Yeah.
It's both, but like the ID thing, that's fucked. There's pros and cons, obviously, to that. The cons are, you know, like if you want to be an anonymous dickhead on the internet, the education is simple. If you see an anonymous dickhead on the internet, fucking ignore them, right? If you see a hate comment, firstly, if you're a business, that's good. Nurture them. Reverse them and go, yes, bring me more. Like,
So-
I have a whole script of this, right?
Yeah.
Whenever someone's calling me out on some dumb shit,
Yeah.
I just say to them, yeah, cool. All right, tell me more.
Yeah, kill them with kindness. Almost.
Kill them with kindness,
Yeah.
but I stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah.
I just wrote back, go back to your cat.
Yeah.
Mate, it's so funny when you look through our comments on
What do you
Facebook
say?
because Delby has
back to
Delby
the what?
has
I'll look
access. Delby has access to our Facebook.
Oh, no.
So like you
I
can
haven't
see,
commented for
I know you've
years,
been, but like you can see the difference between like fuck off cunt and then like that's I'm sorry you feel that way. Like maybe we could change this, and then Delby would be like, no, fuck off you little pussy. You know, like,
No, like someone, I look at,
I'm-
I look into what they are, man. This guy's trying to troll me.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
fucking profile pics him with a cat.
Yeah.
And his next one is his collection of Vegeta.
Yeah.
So I'm like, go home and pat your cat, cunt. Go cook with some Vegeta.
So
And then he put his profile on private. So he's got the balls to fucking rip on me, and then he puts his little Vegeta shit on private, you little fucking pussy.
I treat
I
hate,
love it. It's like-
I treat hate comments and genuine comments the same.
Yeah.
Because it's just a comment is content. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
the
for you
more
and the algorithm.
content,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a script that I go through. Like as soon as they send me shit, I look at their profile. If it's one of those default grey silhouettes,
yeah.
I was like, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
If their profile name is like username 434, I was like, you're a dickhead. And if I have the time to go into their profile, I'm like, all right, let's see if I can spin something back into the comment, just like the Vegeta thing. But then what I do is I want to keep them on for as long as possible. But then I hit them with by the way, every time you comment back,
you're helping my
algorithm to make a sale. So please comment more. I am undefeated with no response after that question.
yeah.
Sometimes they delete the whole thread because they started it because they have the power to delete the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, maybe I shouldn't do that because then I can
What I've noticed...
That's what I wrote to the cat guy. I was like, bro, you're just helping the algorithm. Keep commenting.
What I've noticed with the threads, that like, once you get 3 or 4 comments, okay. But once it gets like 10, 15, 20... 30 comments back and forth.
I'm like, my work here is done.
Yeah, but it's
Step
but
back.
it stops fueling the algorithm push. If there's a heap of other comments that are separate in different ways, that keeps it going. But
if I can get someone
We'll
else
start
involved,
a fresh one on the next.
you got it. Yeah.
Jeremy.
Yeah. If you can get someone else to fight for you in the comment, that's even better.
Yeah.
I barely even do anything now. Basically, I'm not rude with it, but I'll give it 100 or a high five or a fire generally for the ones that I really like, or I might comment back to a few, or try to engage with like, look, maybe you're taking this part out of context. This is it. And then that's it. I won't go back and forth 20 times.
I always go, thanks for that really positive input. I'm like, you've done so much good. You've brought so much light to this combo.
But regardless, the concern more so with that ID thing is that's good. Like, because there's anonymous dickheads, I think there's a positive. And this is why there's always under the guise of a good idea that it can be abused. The issue is like, and I'm aware that like our social media, I'm sure yours is the same. We need 2-factor identification. I need to put my license in there and all that. So they know who I am. That's fine.
That's fine.
But
it's when you have something that goes against the status quo and then they go, oh no, that's misinformation. I'm like, I think that if I was to put out my opinion and then the government or whoever fucking is in charge goes, that's misinformation. If I'm the person that have verified myself with that username, I'm owning that shit.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be deleted. It shouldn't be sanctioned to the rest of the world.
Like even further to that is the idea, and this is the concern, is that ID is not valid. You're going to have to use a digital ID, which is then attached to everything, which is attached to your bank account, which is attached to your MyGov, which is attached to anything. So if you're one of those, a single parent, like who gets government benefits, or if you're a mum who gets the child stuff, whatever, they're going to have to adhere to the rules. Otherwise, their bank account's going to get shut off, like we've seen in Canada.
The biggest fear for me...
It's getting fucking done now, which is so good. You see Trudeau's basically done?
No.
Yeah, his treasurer stepped down. So sorry to just...
Did you hear the guy... Did you see the video of the guy running next to him? It was like... he just started running next to Trudeau. He's like, you're a faggot.
Oh, my God.
Just straight up. Just told him. And he's like, selfies, like, you're a faggot.
How did he get that close without a security detail?
Because he just walks or runs around.
Just runs.
Running from his problem.
But
couldn't believe he called him a bundle of sticks. It's fucking crazy, bro.
Mate, he's like, the way that Trump has fucking butched him is so good.
What did he say?
Where the tariffs?
What, to Canada?
So he said, Trudeau said to him in the meeting, these tariffs you're going to put on us are going to kill us as a country. And he said, if you guys cannot survive as a country without...
Join us.
Cannot survive with a country without us, without reaming USA for their imports and exports, then maybe you should become the 52nd state.
Yeah, New North America.
Yeah. And then he put up, did you see that? The AI generated picture of himself looking over Canada going, oh, Canada. He's the ultimate troll, man. Like, that is the prime minister of the closest country to you. And you're trolling him saying, we're just going to fucking take you.
I reckon Barron's taken over socials, though.
Oh, he has. Yeah.
Canada's fucked.
He's as tall as you,
Trudeau's fucked the whole country there.
He's 6'10". He's my height.
He's your height.
Yeah.
He's fucking monstrous.
Yeah, I'll
Have you
fight
seen
him.
that?
The Baron.
I'll do a fight with him on YouTube, get money.
Oh, that'd
What? An actual fight?
Yeah. Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor style. We'll be the prelim.
I saw that's happening.
I think, and sorry to
I'll go back to
divert.
the
We'll go back to it, but like,
banning.
see, the
16.
how uneasy Trump, and I sent that to you, his body language and how uneasy he looks at the moment with all the drone stuff. I agree with this, that he's worried something's trying to be.
Well, what's the other one where
into
they're trying to extend the drone defense laws?
Yeah.
So there's a law that expires in 8 days or something, which has to do with defending against drones.
Yeah, on the 20th.
So, like, that can't be a coincidence
what
their law is expiring, and all of a sudden, 3 days before,
You're going to ask me about Russia.
Come out.
You're going to ask me about Russia.
I wasn't going to ask you about Russia, but what do you think about Russia? You as a former Russian, what do you think?
As a current Russian.
Current Russian, yes.
So this is nothing to do with
Our podcast has just lost all cred. we've been infiltrated.
We have a Russian shill.
I'm waiting for a sleeper code.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is not a disclaimer. This is just as is. I don't really look at the media much about whatever side is going on.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I have to in a way because I've got two different sides of the family, living in Ukraine and Russia. Right, cousins, uncles, aunties from my father's side who I haven't seen since I was 2.
Yeah, I remember you went back there.
Yeah,
Eastern Ukraine.
Yes.
Yeah,
like fucking in the
Oof,
depths.
fuck.
Right. So back in 2015, Mum was there, and she saw what she saw, and my mum's not has any reason to bullshit to me. And there's been shit going in directions that they shouldn't have been going into. Like I'm talking trains with, tanks and missiles and shit on it going towards Russia. From that place. It's like, what's going on there? A lot of this shit is, not spoken about, and what is spoken about is propaganda, right? I still just it's funny talk about like live your best life, pivot, and all this shit, and how a comedian can become the president of the country, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right? But in all seriousness, the information that I'm getting from both sides is Russia's protecting themselves.
Of course. I mean,
you would protect your own self if a neighboring country has said, you know what, I'm not going to invite this neighbor from across the world over because we said we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Talking about NATO.
Yeah. It's literally a treaty.
But then they go, you know what, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But then they're like, wait, why? What is the reason? You do not have a reason.
Yeah.
The reason is military strategy, strategical thing. And now what has happened, the missiles that just come about, I had to read this because this is relevant now for fucking Putin shit. Missiles that were commissioned by the US have landed on Russian soil.
Yeah.
This happened yesterday.
Again.
Yes. And what's Putin done? He's starting to he's changed a few things. This happened the last day. Saying, hey, we're now going to activate this because...
Maybe that's where the nuke is.
Now the nuke is a dirty bomb that came from Europe.
So again, regardless of that, that's such a concern anyway. That came from Europe. You know my favorite piece of media that involves Trump is when they tried to get him on that gotcha moment where the interviewer was like, who do you prefer to win, Ukraine or Russia? And he just kept saying, I want the war to end. I want people to stop dying.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
So when people ask me, Sev, what's your thoughts on Russia? I was like, I just want people to stop dying.
Yeah.
And they're like, but how? I'm like, by just stop
invading each other.
Stop invading each other, but stop strategically tiptoeing around going, you know what, I might throw this rock.
Yeah. Stop provoking.
Oh, fuck, why are you in my house for, man? I wasn't going to throw the rock, I promise.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're in my house, I'm going to throw rocks anyway.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
My analogy's always been, if China was to come and set up on Rottnest, Australia would be a little bit concerned and you would be wanting to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Because they're so close.
Yeah.
And if we were at war or we were enemies with China, you wouldn't just let them take a position at Rottnest.
Yeah.
Because Rottnest have invited them to come.
Yeah, if they got Indonesia and they got Papua New Guinea and they got New Zealand and they said, you guys are all part of us now or you're part of our alliance, you'd start to go,
how much have you...
Feel a little... Can you stop that?
How much have you spoken about the economical warfare that's already going on?
in regards to BRICS and...
Talking about what Pauline Hanson was saying years ago.
in regards to multiculturalism versus multinationalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
we haven't really talked about this,
Okay,
but we've seen Jackski talk to
I don't know enough about
Okay,
Pauline
so
Hanson about it.
just looking at the dynamics of who owns who, right? You've got a couple of residential builders, right, who are owned by majority share by Japanese company, who just bought the biggest builder over east, Metricon. They have been bought by the same company. So now the east and the west is owned by an offshore company in Japan. I'm not saying Japan's bad.
Yeah.
But, like,
China own everything here.
yeah,
They
exactly.
own heaps of our farms. They own heaps of our electricity. They own our gas pipelines.
Yeah.
They own so
Yeah.
much shit. People don't realize.
People don't realize. And then it's
And
like...
they make the profits, and
They
their
make-
tariffs are nothing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, again, I'm not shitting on anyone here.
Yeah.
But the reality is there may not need to be any weaponized warfare because the economical warfare is already happening. It's a strategic, hey, we're going to come here, we're going to grab citizenship,
Good jobs.
and then we're going to buy stuff from the money we earned legally, from the jobs that we acquired because we didn't fuck around and whinge about, not having enough Centrelink payments. So now we have money. Now we have generational wealth because we all kept as a group and didn't fucking, go on a tangent and, whinge about which gender we are. And then fucking now that we have a pool of money collected, we're going to buy this, and this legally. And now it's like, oh, hey, would you like to have a job with us? We're going to pay you this.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, you fucking saying this and this
Yeah.
online?
Almost like, if you would like to influence policy in Western Australia and you happen to own a mining company.
Right.
And you want it to
Right.
benefit you. You leverage the
So this
premiers
is-
and give them a job after. Yeah.
So this is me as a realist talking of what I see, what I observe. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm optimistic that, we're not all going to just land grab everything and go, right, China owns everything. They're all going to come now and take everything over
Yeah.
and only hire Chinese people
No,
for
yeah.
the labor.
Yeah. It's not that. It's leveraging policy and
It's
influencing
leveraging policy, yes.
Yeah, to benefit
Right?
their
You look
country.
at Elizabeth Quay, right? You see those new fucking block buildings that they've just put up across from Ritz-Carlton. So
Oh, yeah.
all the
Yeah.
curvy architecture, all the bridge, and then there's these two fucking Lego bricks on the other side.
Yeah.
Chinese companies.
Yeah,
They
okay.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They just go, we've got this land, we've got this money, bang, here's buildings.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
It's funny because I was looking at it the other day from Elizabeth Quay. Fucking beautiful as well.
Yeah,
What
but then
we've
you see
created
those
there.
two fucking blocks of
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
You're
I
like,
noticed them. I noticed
they
them.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because it's their land, they bought legally, and then the companies, and it's like, what's next? I'm not fearful for it. Probably won't be around, 100 years from now, but it's our kids that we got to look out for
Yeah.
and coexist and get along with, not be racist, and live our best lives
Yeah.
and not be worried.
I actually, and we've spoken about it, were we wrong about Pauline Hanson? Because we've all grown up thinking Pauline Hanson was a racist. And then, of all the things that really triggered that was Jacksy's fucking chat
The
with
interview.
Mr. Sitcom.
That's my favorite interview that he's done
Yeah.
because it's actually got a lot of depth and meaning behind
Yeah.
it. Like the fact that where she said, well, you know what, I don't agree with someone immigrating here and not going for citizenship. They're not going for Australian citizenship. They may get work, but they're a nuisance.
Yeah.
If you're a nuisance and you don't have citizenship here, you should fuck off.
Well, this idea of I can't remember the exact terms. I think she said multiculturalism versus multinationalism.
Yeah.
And so having multiple numbers of different religions and different races in our country, that's great. But adopting under one national sort of idea or culture, that is great. Otherwise, if we got
Otherwise, you're gonna start fucking
multiculturalism,
doing-
we've got pockets of
Yeah, you're going to have
this
gangs
yeah,
and shit.
exactly,
You don't
and division.
want that.
Yeah.
And that causes, all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's happening already
Yeah, wow.
in the States,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and UK.
in the UK.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm just like,
And
shit.
she probably didn't phrase it very well. We're
Well,
in
no.
danger of being swamped by Asians.
Yeah. The problem is she's not likable. Like,
Yeah, very unlikable.
Well, it's not likable, but it's not also helpful.
accent's
that-
jarring.
Yeah.
She's
But also the media
yeah.
Yeah.
who spins it even worse.
Yeah,
Not
politically.
even the media. It's just the politicians that are utilising the media to paint her in a certain way. But
Yeah.
should be a nice guest to have on.
Yeah,
just
well-
to discuss.
Considering who we've got been hitting us up to come on, I don't think it's a stretch to get her on. So,
You spoke about being agnostic,
yeah,
right? I feel the same way. Politically, religiously, I like to observe and go, right, what's happening right now? I don't want to pick a side permanently. Not because I don't want to be wrong historically,
yeah,
but I want to talk about it.
yeah,
I want to talk and not have not be afraid to talk about it. You mentioned before how I'm just putting out more of the content that you like. It's just me going, you know what? I'm not sticking to a side. I'm not saying, all hail Russia, Putin's the best.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he seems to me like he's just trying to do what's best for his country.
yeah,
Without minimizing the damage in his country.
yeah,
And hey, fuck, I'm going to put my hand straight up if I'm wrong,
yeah.
right? I'm not gospel
Not
about...
too straight.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like you guys have helped me realize that, you know what? Don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to be labeled slightly right or fully right or whatever fucking direction.
Well, because they change as well.
They change.
Look at the Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
They completely flipped over
Yeah.
the last 20 years. It used to be the Republicans were the warmongers, and now they're the ones who are saying we don't want war. Like, it doesn't matter what you're saying then and there is at that time is relevant.
Exactly.
But that could change.
The ultimate discussion between anyone who disagrees with me, what I'm saying right now, I want to have a conversation with them saying, what are your ideologies?
Not yelling
Let's
at you.
talk about what you actually want.
Yeah.
Do you think that I'm a racist because of my specific movement in the direction of politics?
Yeah. No,
It's just
clearly
like-
not. Yeah.
That's a dumb cunt
Right?
that's got no other argument. They go, racist, homophobe, you're a misogynist, because they got no other way to.
Right.
They just don't like what they're hearing, and they get the
Yeah.
cognitive dissonance.
I remember when Tate started to really branch out with his popularity before he got done by Greta Thunberg.
Thunberg.
That was funny. But the last podcast he was on before he got incarcerated was on one of my mates' podcasts.
Really?
The Strike It Big podcast by Mark Tilbury and his son Curtis. And they've been on my podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I know them.
Yeah.
Like, we've spoken, we've just talked about life and stuff. Great people. And I was so fucking stoked for them. Like I'm stoked for you guys when you have a big guest on. I'm like, fuck yeah, guys. And I shared that on my Instagram story. And I had this kid that used to be a student of mine at school, right? And he always said that I was his favorite teacher because I gave a fuck and, what teachers should do.
Yeah.
And then, he messaged me saying, what the fuck? How dare you glorify Tate, misogynist, all this shit you just said before. And I'm just like, man, I'm just stoked that my mates got a big fucking figure on their podcast that's just probably launched it into the next level.
Yeah.
But he's seeing it differently. And I was always fearful of that sort of shit. You could call it cancel culture or, maybe not landing the right deal down the track of all the shit I'm saying now. Like Jenna Marbles fucking 10 years ago doing blackface and then now she's being called out by it and she stopped making
I feel like
content.
10 years ago we still knew that was wrong.
Yeah,
know,
same
like-
here. But still,
But
it's a mistake.
like I'm more confident now to go, listen, here is my thoughts.
Yeah.
Here is my observations. Here's what I think. But don't label me like what I'm not because my ideologies are probably identical to yours. It's just my belief in who's going to make those ideologies more of a reality may be different to yours, And that's it. That's really the discussion.
Yeah.
Like, why do you believe that Kamala Harris was going to do the same shit that Trump did without any fucking experience whatsoever?
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah. Yeah, no one could ever give you an answer.
Exactly.
The issue, though, would you get like a Charlie Kirk who would ask people, and then he'd ask dumb people.
Yeah.
And you're like, someone with a bit of intelligence, because I'd like to see a good dialogue between back and forth.
But I feel like I'm also articulating myself better. Whereas before I was like, I don't feel like I have enough information. And that's why I always like message you and call you up and saying, hey, what do you reckon of this? Not to get your validation or like and just like confirm whatever, but it's just like, what's a good take? What's a take on this? Or what's a bad take on this? Or when is it not true?
Yeah.
Like when is something potentially not true? That's my favorite question to ask people who are of a different opinion. I was like, have you ever considered this once to be not true?
Yeah.
When could that happen? And then they go, the good ones go, yeah, fuck, true.
Yeah.
You know?
And how to pivot. as
And how to
well.
pivot.
Like, not just in career, like with opinions,
Yeah.
thoughts,
Yeah.
ideologies. Like,
Yeah, I used to hate Tate.
yeah.
And now I'm like,
Fuck, he
I
makes a
see
lot of
what he was
sense.
doing.
Yeah. I mean, there's still.
fuck, he triggered me so much, bro.
Oh, really?
Bashar is the one. I'm like, fuck, he's,
Yeah, you were
he's
saying,
a
yeah.
tart, bro. But
Yeah.
maybe down the track, I'd be like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe he is channeling Zoltang from fucking.
The thing about this particular thing, saying that you humans.
fucking loser.
So I end up like,
You love him.
yeah, well, I just like the sense he makes. I don't care if he's fucking channeling an alien. Just listen to it and go, yeah, that makes it. But you're right though. Like that exact point is like in 7 years' time, I might think completely different. Doesn't change what I thought then.
Yeah.
It just means like, well, things have changed. My understanding has changed.
You're allowed to change your.
Yeah.
Look at Italy and the wars. Like, you're allowed to change your opinion. You don't have to dig your heels in as long as you're man or woman or they enough to fucking just say, hey, I was probably wrong, or I used to believe this, now I think this.
Yeah.
No one's going to give a fuck if you switch sides, man.
No. Well,
Stand for something, but also be cool enough to be like, fuck, man, I was probably...
If anything, that's more
Endearing.
Yeah, endearing and authentic, and just go, do you know what? I was fucking wrong, man. I was so wrong. Or I was right at the time, but things have changed now. We're in this situation now, and whatever. Like things, like situations change. So the person that you might be supporting, they might change, and you go, well, I don't like what they're saying now.
Yeah. But when it comes to like war, that shit's permanent if it happens.
Yeah.
When it comes to cutting your dick off, that shit's permanent.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't change your mind after the nuclear holocaust has happened. You're fucked.
Yeah.
You know?
At least we'll get a new season of Fallout.
Yeah. we might even make it to GTA 6.
Yeah.
You know, then that sucks.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed we're still here next year.
Well, yeah, that's probably that's a. I'm very interested to see what next year brings. Maybe let's finish with that. A little predictions of what you might want to see, what you might see, not around the world, but maybe technologically or like content wise. What are your thoughts? 2025. What do you see happening?
I love to see kids actually use their phones to research more of what they're interested in instead of
Doom scrolling.
scrolling. I'd love to see the parents take accountability instead of relying on the government to ban the whole thing altogether. Grab their phones out and just like reading a book at nighttime, grab the phone and go, hey, what are you interested in? Hey, this is how you research it, right? Let's go down a rabbit hole together in this, you want to learn how to fish. Right, let's go watch the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel. Fucking love that channel, by the way. The guy's got 11 million followers, subscribers, and he just literally just documents his entire trip in Alaska or something. And it's so educational with minimal effort.
Yeah.
Fucking lot of editing. But I would love to see parents, the new age kids, like Generation Beta's about to start next year.
Everyone's beta to me.
Yeah. and being a, person with, wants to have kids, I want to have this next generation ready for that, behavior from parents where the parents are taking back accountability. So 2025.
Reality is we should be sending the parents to parenting school. There's been a disconnect from our generation, unfortunately.
What do you say a lot? We're a generation of
We are a generation of no responsibility. We want the government. We want to mandate a rule. We want to legislate a rule. We want to offset our responsibilities to someone else. We want the teacher to be the parent, the teacher to be the psychiatrist. We want the government to put laws in because I can't tell my child no. It's piss weak, bro. Some of our parents, fuck, man, I couldn't go to a party unless my mum spoke to that parent.
Yeah. Yeah, what you say, Norm, what I was getting at was, and that's it as well, but we have a generation of children being parented by children.
Correct. Yep. Big time.
Mate.
I'll save my predictions for Friday when we're drinking.
Yeah. We'll have a wind up. It'll be our 299th.
Oh.
So our first episode next year will be 300.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
That'll be legacy, I
Before you guys move on,
Yeah.
this quote, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at?
We're weak men, hard times.
Weak men, hard times?
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
also see that the pendulum, I've said this on the
Yeah.
pod, where we were so woke, the pendulum is starting to swing back.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's gone a little too far, like people fucking...
Because of technology, it's a different swing.
Yeah.
It's a far greater swing because, 100 years ago, we didn't have the internet to call each other out and go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The internet's a fake place.
Yeah. Mate, I think it is somewhere in between the hard times and which have been created by weak men, and then that hard times has started to forge and morph into these strong men that will create good
The
times.
most important is the hard yarns.
Yes, but
Hard yarns create
yeah,
good content.
Hard men. Create hard men.
Yeah. But mate, awesome episode. It was
Sure.
good to have you back on. First time in 5 years?
Yeah, much better than
4 years.
fucking talk about TikTok the whole time.
Suckling. Where's Suki?
Never heard of her.
Oh, fucking hell. Anyway, Delby, you want to plug anything before we go? Yeah.
Fringe World
Oh, yeah.
and Adelaide listeners, one-off teacher comedy night in Adelaide, February 23rd, part of Fringe. Tickets are available now. Fringe World coming up. Hashtag The Ick, my new show. Really exciting. 33 years single. 2 white guys rapping. Just search Daniel Delby on the Fringe World website. And then confirmed Planet Royale Teacher Comedy Night, April 16th. And Mandra, first time, Anzac Day Eve, Mandra. So we'll do a show and then we'll party afterwards.
Sick. I'll do the same. I'll plug Fringe because we've got our Fringe room. Sir Henry's in Northbridge. Me and Wolfie are there basically every night. We'll be on stage doing our own little beer garden shows, but there are an abundance of shows from, I think, the first week onwards on I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. I don't think we're doing Mondays, Tuesdays. But come on down because we've got 2 rooms. We've got an indoor room and an outdoor beer garden room. And you can watch any number of shows. And me and Wolfie are going to be sitting at the back and talking shit most of the shows. So you want to plug anything there, Severance?
Yep. IDEA Academy. So IDEA stands for Innovation Design Entrepreneurship Academy. And it's the alternative for the education side of things. If you're if your kid has been homeschooled and up to year 10 and they're looking for something new but refuse to go to high school, fair enough. IDEA Academy is where you want to explore, so hit up IDEA Academy. They've also about to start a diploma for kids who have graduated school and who have no idea what they're going to do, but they may have a inkling into business, entrepreneurship. Definitely check it out as well. And then from my production side, my own podcast. Well, I made a podcast because I just copy Branchy, but the podcast stuff has evolved into fuck, your room looks sick, can we hire it out? To now it's evolved to can we make like our own custom thing? So we made something which launches next year, but the thing you have to look up is Bright Tsar Studios, TSAR, rightfully
Russian Tsar.
Yeah.
So Bright Tsar Studio, acronym BTS. So look that up. Google's probably going to not be helpful for SEO, but
You're going to get a bunch of Korean pop singers when you look up BTS.
that's right. So hire me or hire them or hire both, and enjoy the podcast space that you can customize your own setup in. And yeah, I look forward to catching up with you guys in next year.
Sure.
Good, man. Fuck yeah. Cheers for coming on, mate. Good episode. And yeah, well, I want to talk to you about these lighting, actually. And
Keen.
fuck yeah. All right.
Hard sans.
Yeah. Hooroo.